go back and you visit the teacher from your high school or whatever place, do you visit that teacher that sits there and lecture all day and just gives you a fail and walks away, doesn't even know your name? No, you visit that professor who said, how dare you? Because as tough as she was, you know one thing, don't you? She cares about you. She believes in you. That's what every student in your classroom wants to believe. That's what they need. Remember, every student comes with a deficit. You can't do everything for them, but if you believe in them, that's a pretty good start. Let me move on to my conclusion. I think that one of the things that I would suggest to you is that you just write down those things that made sense that I talked about today. Make it your list. I don't own anything. None of us own knowledge. It passes through us, and then hopefully we pay it forward some way. Here's what I would say to you. Get to know your students. Day one. Not them get to know you. All of them get to know you. Flip the script. However you do it. Have them write the short essay or whatever. Get to know your students. Treat all students the same as you would treat your own child. If you wouldn't accept your child failing, don't accept students failing in your class. If you know that that's where they're heading and you know halfway, you bring them in and say, what are you doing here? How dare you fail on my watch? I feel as though I failed, and I cannot fail. Raise the bar and inspire your students to achieve success. They can. Trust them. Give them a shot. Help them discover within themselves that which already exists, but they may not be aware of. Believe in them, even if they don't believe in themselves yet. The Amend group that I work with closely and just admire, they take young men who may not believe in themselves yet, but they see something in them, like that drill instructor. Their job then is to help that young man eventually see the same thing in himself. Dr. Breland is very, very instrumental with that. Assume all students already have a rabbit, and you're just adding another rabbit to their collection. Ask yourself these questions. What do I truly believe about my students' capacity to learn? Do I have high or low expectations of them? Are these expectations the same for all students? Be honest with yourself. Or just for certain individual students or groups? Be honest with yourself, in private. What do my students get from me that they couldn't get from a computer? And I'm going to leave you with that thought. You know the new business model says that if they can get a computer to do the same thing you do, they're going to do it. The reason why, because it makes good business sense. They do it cheaper, faster. They don't ask for holidays, sick days. They don't get benefits or a salary. You downsize, and at the same time, you fulfill your legal requirement to teach. It's called distant learning. It's a good thing for people who really need it. It can become a permanent thing. The first thing I answer when I say, what do I do? What do students get from me that they can't get from a computer? It's this. It's this. It's that. It's don't hand me that garbage. It's how dare you. It's Private Young, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? It's my mother. Get on your knees and let's go. Get a good education. You cannot get that from a computer. You never, ever will. It's your greatest argument for not being replaced by a computer. All of that stuff is the human touch. Don't lose the human touch, teachers. You may not be as dynamic and crazy a person as me.